Beneath the bustling streets of our cities, a hidden race is unfolding, a frantic scramble for microscopic advantages that translate into billions of dollars. Companies are tunneling through mountains, laying fiber optic cables under oceans, building microwave towers on remote hilltops, all to shave microseconds, sometimes nanoseconds, off financial transactions. This is the story of how the pursuit of speed transformed Wall Street into something unrecognizable, how trading floors filled with shouting brokers gave way to silent warehouses humming with servers, and how a handful of firms will spend any amount of money to be faster than everyone else. Welcome to the Speed Wars. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to where it all began, the trading pit. For over a century, this was how stocks and commodities changed hands. A chaotic arena where traders in colorful jackets screamed orders, waved hand signals, and physically jostled for position. It was loud, messy, and deeply human. Fortunes were made and lost based on who could shout the loudest, move the fastest, and read the room the best. Then came the computers. In 1971, NASDAQ became the world's first electronic stock market. No trading floor, no shouting, just terminals and telephone lines connecting buyers and sellers. The old guard dismissed it as a gimmick. Real trading, they insisted, required human judgment, the ability to look a man in the eye and know if he was bluffing. They were wrong. By the late 1990s, electronic trading was eating the traditional exchanges alive. It was faster, cheaper, and it never needed a lunch break. But electronic trading created something the old pits never had, a measurable speed advantage. In the pits, being faster meant physical proximity, standing closer to the broker, having quicker reflexes. But computers introduced precision timing, first in milliseconds, then microseconds, now nanoseconds. And some traders realized something profound. If you could execute a trade, even a fraction of a second before your competitor, you could profit from price movements they hadn't even seen yet. The race was on. The first battleground was physical location. Traders discovered that the closer their servers were to the exchange's matching engine, the faster their orders would arrive. This gave birth to co-location. Exchanges began renting rack space inside their own data centers. For a premium fee, trading firms could place their servers just feet away from where trades were executed. The differences were tiny. We're talking about reducing latency from hundreds of microseconds to just tens of microseconds. But in high-frequency trading, those extra microseconds might as well be years. Suddenly, geography mattered more than ever. Not the geography of cities, but the geography of server racks. But colocation only got you so far. The real prize was the connection between exchanges, specifically the link between Chicago, home of the futures markets, and New Jersey, where the stock exchanges had their data centers. In 2010, a company called Spread Networks completed a $300 million project. They had laid a new fiber optic cable between Chicago and New York. What made it special wasn't the technology, it was the route. Existing cables followed highways and railroad tracks, curving around mountains and taking indirect paths. Spread Networks went straight. They tunneled through the Allegheny Mountains, bored through bedrock, created the most direct path physics would allow. The result? They shaved 3 milliseconds off the round trip. 3 milliseconds for $300 million. But even light through fiber has limits. It travels at about 2/3 the speed of light in a vacuum, slowed by the glass it passes through. Someone asked the obvious question. What if we didn't use fiber at all? What if we used microwave signals, which travel through air at nearly the full speed of light? Trading firms began building networks of microwave towers stretching from Chicago to New Jersey. They bought old cellular towers, leased space on grain silos, even purchased defunct military installations. One firm acquired a microwave tower in Aurora, Illinois, that had once been part of the U.S. Air Force's radar defense network. The Cold War infrastructure was being repurposed for financial warfare. Which brings us to Aurora, Illinois. This quiet suburb of Chicago, perhaps best known as the setting for Wayne's World, has become ground zero in the high-frequency trading arms race. Why? Because the Chicago Mercantile Exchange built its primary data center there. Suddenly, every major trading firm needed presence in Aurora. Microwave towers began sprouting across the landscape. Fiber optic cables crisscrossed beneath the streets. The city found itself at the center of a multi-billion-dollar industry it never asked for. Local officials had to write entirely new zoning laws, regulations about tower heights, rules about electromagnetic interference, ordinances that no city planner had ever contemplated. Residents complained about the towers dotting their skyline, but the tax revenue was substantial. Aurora had stumbled into the most lucrative real estate in modern finance, measured not in acres, but in microseconds. So who are the players in this invisible war? The names might not be familiar to most people. Citadel Securities, Virtue Financial, Tower Research, 2 Sigma. These firms process billions of dollars in trades every single day, yet most operate in near total secrecy. Virtue Financial is particularly notorious for its obsession with infrastructure. They've invested in everything from microwave towers to transatlantic cables to laser communication systems. Their headquarters is unremarkable from the outside. Inside, they guard their algorithms like nuclear launch codes. Citadel Securities, founded by billionaire Ken Griffin, handles roughly 25% of all U.S. stock trading volume. They're not just participating in the market, they are the market. The secrecy in this industry borders on paranoia, and perhaps for good reason. In 2009, a programmer named Sergey Aleynikov left Goldman Sachs to join a competitor. Before departing, he uploaded portions of Goldman's trading code. He was arrested by the FBI before he even started his new job. The case revealed just how valuable these algorithms are. Goldman told the court that in the wrong hands, the code could be used to manipulate markets. The company considered it a matter of national security. Employees at top firms sign non-compete agreements that can last years. Some are prohibited from even acknowledging what they work on. The technology might be cutting edge, but the human element remains deeply tribal. But speed without guardrails can be catastrophic. On May 6, 2010, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged nearly 1,000 points in minutes, then recovered almost as quickly. It was the largest intraday point decline in history at that time. Nearly $1 trillion in market value vanished and reappeared in the span of a lunch break. Some stocks traded at absurd prices. Accenture briefly fell to 1 cent per share. Apple supposedly traded at $100,000. The culprit? A combination of algorithmic trading gone haywire and a market structure that nobody fully understood. High-frequency traders had created a system so complex that even its architects couldn't predict how it would behave under stress. Not everyone accepted this new reality. Brad Katsuyama was a trader at the Royal Bank of Canada when he noticed something strange. Every time he tried to execute a large order, the price would move against him before his trade completed. He realized high-frequency traders were seeing his orders and racing ahead to profit from them, legally. The system was designed to reward whoever was fastest, regardless of whether they had any real interest in the stocks they traded. His solution was radical. He created a new exchange called IEX with a built-in speed bump, a 38-mile coil of fiber optic cable that every order had to travel through, adding 350 microseconds of delay. It was just enough to neutralize the high-frequency traders' speed advantage. The playing field, at least on IEX, was level again. Traditional exchanges have been forced to respond. The New York Stock Exchange implemented speed bumps of its own for certain order types. NASDAQ introduced delays for some transactions. The Chicago exchanges began offering random delays to prevent timing exploitation. It's a constant cat-and-mouse game. Every time exchanges close one loophole, traders find another. The regulators are always playing catch-up, trying to write rules for technology that evolves faster than legislation. Some have called for more dramatic intervention, a financial transaction tax, mandatory minimum holding periods, even a return to human intermediaries. But the genie is out of the bottle. There's no putting electronic trading back in the box. Which raises uncomfortable questions. Is any of this good for markets? Defenders argue that high-frequency trading provides liquidity. It narrows the gap between buying and selling prices. It makes markets more efficient. These are real benefits that help everyone from pension funds to individual investors. Critics counter that efficiency has costs. The flash crash showed what happens when algorithms malfunction. The arms race diverts billions of dollars into infrastructure that provides no social benefit. and the complexity makes markets increasingly opaque, even to regulators. Perhaps most troubling is the question of fairness. In a market where speed is everything, ordinary investors can never compete. The playing field isn't just tilted, it's a different game entirely. The speed wars show no signs of slowing down. Companies are now experimenting with laser communication, which can outpace even microwave signals in certain conditions. Some are exploring satellite-based trading networks. Others are investigating quantum computing, which could make today's fastest algorithms look prehistoric. There's even talk of trading firms placing servers on ships in international waters, beyond the reach of any nation's regulations. The infrastructure is becoming planetary in scale, optimized for nanoseconds that no human could ever perceive. And artificial intelligence is adding another dimension: machine learning algorithms that can adapt their strategies in real time. Systems that learn from market behavior faster than any human programmer could update them. Next time you check your stock portfolio or glance at a market ticker, remember what's happening behind the scenes. Billions of dollars have been spent building infrastructure you'll never see. Fiber optic cables beneath your feet, microwave towers on distant hills, server farms in suburban data centers, all of it humming along at speeds incomprehensible to the human brain. The traders who once screamed in the pits have been replaced by algorithms trading in nanoseconds. The geography that matters now isn't continents or countries, but the precise distance between server racks. This is the hidden architecture of modern finance, a world where light itself isn't fast enough, where microseconds are worth millions, and where the race for speed never ever ends. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.